Good morning, YouTube family. I said I was going to start making videos, more content. I promise, hang in there with me. It'll get better. Right now, my back, I still have this really bad infection in my back. I'm out of IV antibiotics and my livelihood, what I do to pay for my medical supplies that the insurance doesn't cover, and buy my Ensure and all my vitamins and everything I need. I make bracelets, lanyards, keychains, and my daughter and I make stuff like that. And our best time of the year is Halloween and Christmas. And my back is in so much pain, I can't sit up to make any bracelets. Actually, I haven't made a bracelet since my mom died, which was November the 2nd. And just when I got that call, I couldn't make it. And then I don't know what I did to my back. I see the infectious disease doctor again on Wednesday. My PICC line had gotten infected, and so they had to take it out. And excuse me, in Joliet, I'm drinking coffee, and it's really upsetting my stomach. Excuse me. But anyway, they told me to go to the closest PICC line or go to the closest hospital and have the PICC line taken out. So I waited all day. I missed my mom's funeral for services. We couldn't afford to have a funeral, but we had services for her, and then they had like a little luncheon, and I couldn't even go to that. Who misses their own mother's funeral? But then, like my husband told me, when I was just like I had just 3 days before had exploratory surgery, and I didn't know they were going to have to cut my stomach muscles. And I already had promised another friend she could stay here she was getting out of Shirley Ryan. She had a stroke, and I let her stay here, and I let my mom stay here, and it was just so hard taking care of the both of them while I was so sick myself, carrying a bag around with me, throwing up all the time, almost passing out. I was 77 pounds. But anyway, mind over matter, I did it. But anyway, what I would like to talk to you guys about today, and I am just hoping to God that I don't get in trouble for any of this, because I am already, you can't get blood from a stone. Friday night, it was so embarrassing. It was like 4:30, and they were going to release me from the hospital, but the place where I get all my medical supplies, and now they had to add on a week's worth of IV antibiotics to go through my PICC line, because I had this really bad infection that got my PICC line and spread. And they told me, well, you can get out of there tonight, but you owe us for a month. Your insurance covers 90%, and you owe us $229, and we can't send you anything, any of your supplies, until that is paid. So I'm going to have to, every month, I can't, on disability, I can't do this. I don't have the money to pay for this. I don't. And going back and forth to Pittsburgh, gas, the tolls, the hotels, the food for, well, I don't eat food, but the food for, my son or my family, whoever's taking me out there, I literally cannot afford this. The only thing that I was doing, my daughter and I am trying to look for a hand up, not a hand out. So we've been making bracelets, and everybody who's seen our bracelets absolutely loves them. And this is the best time of the year when we do our best at Halloween and Christmas, and how I can't even sit upright. It's killing me sitting up now. I'm trying to stretch my back out some here. I just took 2 Tylenol, but I don't know if I can make bracelets, and that's the only way. With the little bit I get on my disability is just, it's not enough. It doesn't cover everything. I have a daughter. I have, how expensive groceries are, and I can't do it. But anyway, all right. So let me get to the real reason here. I know you guys are waiting for the good stuff. So some years ago when I would go through these phases. One of my best friends, who I miss her dearly, Mary Beth Cardwell, please reach out to me. I'm going to message you today. Like my best friend, Mary Beth, she was like my traveling partner. We'd go places together, and I have to say, not bragging, but we were both good looking. So we like attracted swarms of guys. We never had to pay for a drink when we get out. And Mary Beth is a little older than me, but she's so beautiful. I mean, she's like the most beautiful person inside and out that you would ever want to meet. And I love her to death. And I thank God I met her, and I miss her so much. But anyway, so I was seeing a DJ from US 99, Ramblin' Ray Stevens, and it was funny because he had spent the night, he was doing something at a casino in Joliet, and we had to go there, and it was late, so he spent the night at my apartment. And my roommate, Jeff, who I love him like a brother, I love him dearly, I love him so much. He's turned into such a great man. Jeff was on the phone the next morning, calling up, I swear, every single person he knew, and said, "Hey, guess who's sleeping in my house?" Or like, "Guess who's sleeping in Lori's bed? Guess who's in my house? Ramblin' Ray from US 99. And I was like, oh my God, it was like so embarrassing. I'm like, can you not? You know, it was really funny. But I took Ray out and showed him my fire department and stuff and everything. And but anyway, my roommate thought that was super cool. But those were my country days, and my girlfriend Mary Beth and I went to the Houston Rodeo. Now I will get the years right. Because of my disease and my malnourishment, I have brain fog really bad. Like I walk up the stairs and I can't remember why I came up here. It's like crazy. I thought I had Alzheimer's or dementia, but it's just it's the anxiety and the stress and not knowing if I'm going to live or die and how I'm going to pay my bills. And especially now if I can't make stuff to sell, and it just like, everything is just, but anyway, so Mary Beth and I was working 3 jobs at the time, so I liked nice things in life. I had a brand new Mazda Miata convertible. I had a nice place to live, a nice apartment, but I worked for that. I was on my own since I was young. I worked 3 jobs. And this is a thing. I was a firefighter paramedic on Romeoville when I went then. I worked in the ER at Silver Cross, and for my fun job where I knew I wouldn't mess up anyone's orders if or I wouldn't kill anybody if I messed up their orders, like extra hot wings on when they wanted them naked or something or whatever. So that was my fun job. That's what I did for fun. I went to work at Hooters for fun, where I could just be like a giggly airhead, and I didn't have to act smart or anything, and I could just, you know what I mean. The girls taught me some tricks. I don't have too much on top. Well, I never did before, but now I don't. But how to like wet the top of your tank top and then pull it down and then tie it real tight so it makes you look like you have cleavage. But anyway, it's neither here nor there. So Mary Beth and I went with a group of people from US 99, and of course Ray was our host. We went to the Houston Rodeo. I do not exactly remember what year it was. It was somewhere between 91 and 95. I will find out the exact dates from Mary Beth. Like I said, I have a dear friend who I've been friends with for probably, it's been over 30 years. God, yeah. Well, probably 35 years. Wow. 35 years. Wow, wow. I've known her that long. Anyway, Mary Beth Cardwell. So we went out there together. We got a room together. And I was so hoping, I was so into the movie 8 Seconds, about the bull rider Lane Frost, the true story where he got trampled. He was #1 bull rider in the country, and he got trampled by a bull, and his rib pierced his heart, and he died immediately. And it was just so, so sad. But that was like my favorite movie, and it just had like such good family values and stuff and everything. And I love the part where the guys would come pick up and they would all drive together across country, hitting up each rodeo, before they made it famous, going from rodeo to rodeo. And there was a part in the movie where every day Lane would be late, and so they would sit in the car and Tuff would write poetry about waiting on Lane. And it was just like, I really had to know that. I don't know why that was important to me. Ty was who I wanted to meet the most, Ty Hedeman. And now he's married and has kids. I was in no way trying to hit on him or anything. I was so excited to just meet the real person, because I think he is an amazing, amazing person. And he was so good to Lane Frost, and he was like a big brother to him. And I just think, there's not a lot of guys like that. But anyway, so I asked Ty if he really writes poetry, and he said, unfortunately, no. They made that, added that into the movie. For movies, you have to make it look like, you have to make things look, otherwise people aren't gonna really want to see it. So unless people like me, but so that wasn't true. He didn't write poetry, which kind of broke my heart. But I can see they want, stuff for the movie so it doesn't drag, and they wanted, so not everything in the movie was true. I don't believe that Kelly had an affair on Lane. I'm just speculating here. I don't know. But anyway, so it was like the first or the second night of the rodeo, and lo and behold, my friend Mary Beth and I go out to this bar, and who's standing there but 4 guys. One was Tuff Hedeman, one was Ty Murray, and 2 other guys. Well, you could spot Ty a mile away because he was about 140 pounds. Well, that belt buckle had to weigh about 10. And then his hat probably had to weigh some. He had a huge hat on, but that was it went with his ears, because he had huge, huge ears. And you could tell just from looking at him, from our first meeting, that he was not a good person inside or out. Why am I so good at judging for others, but I can't judge for myself, people for myself who are bad, who are toxic and not good for me, but I can. But anyway, well, I guess this was kind of for me, so I didn't do it. So we were all making small talk, Mary Beth and I, and they were getting us drinks and stuff and everything. And Ty pulled me, Ty Murray pulled me aside and said, hey, you want to go up to my room with me? And I said, no, thank you. I appreciate it, but I came here with my girlfriend and I'm leaving with her. And he goes, well, you're fat. And that was all. He couldn't think of anything at first, and it took him. He was stumbling on his words. And at the time, okay, I was a firefighter paramedic. I was in good shape. I was training for the marathon. I was training for physical agility tests. I was lifting weights. I was, like I said, on my days off, my fun job, I worked at Hooters. So you could see every little bit of cellulite, everything. I had some muscle back then, and I was I wasn't 100 pounds, but I was maybe 120 120 pounds with muscle on me, which I thought was a great weight for me. I was very muscular back then. And for him to insult me, and that was the only thing he could think of to say, because I didn't want to go back and screw him just because he was a famous celebrity. Like, I have more respect for myself for that. This is even before I started therapy, but I respect myself way too much for that. He was like a total pig. So our night got better after that, though, because we met these two. I don't know if this is the same night or not, but Vince and Brock, they were cattle ropers. I gotta look that up. I gotta ask Mary Beth what year that was, because she said she found her ticket from that. And I've moved so many times, and I've had my mom throw out so much of my stuff. Everything that was sacred to me is now gone, which is unfortunate, but material things are material things, I guess. So, but anyway, I'm going to find out what year it was, and I'm going to find the pictures, because we let these guys who were drinking, and we weren't going to let them go anywhere. So we took them back up to our hotel. We had 2 king-size beds, and Mary Beth and I slept in one king-size bed, and Brock and Vince slept in the other bed. They took their hats or their shoes, their boots off, and they laid on their backs, and they covered their faces with their hats. And it was so funny. I took pictures. I swear I'm going to find the pictures, and I'm going to post them so you guys don't think I'm like making this up. But honestly, you can ask my friend Mary Beth. But anyway, then, so, when I heard my mom would get People magazine, God rest her soul, and when she was done with them, she'd give them to me to read. And I read this big article about how Jewel got married to #1 bull rider in the country, Ty Murray, and it was just such a great wedding and stuff. And I thought, oh God, you poor girl. I wish there was any way I could have talked to her before that, but I know she wouldn't have believed me. She would have thought I was just some crazy fan. But he has absolutely no respect for women. I hope there's no way I can get sued for this, because he can't get blood from a stone. But I do have a witness, Mary Beth Cardwell, who saw this when he propositioned me to go up to his room, and then called me fat and was like a total asshole to me, and like whispering stuff to his friends and everything. But anyway, I can definitely get proof of that. But our night got better because these guys, they were the most polite guys. They took their boots off. They didn't take their clothes off. They didn't even get under the blankets. And they just put their hats over their faces and went to sleep. And I've got a bunch of pictures of them, and I'm going to look them up. It was Brock and Vince, and I believe Vince was from California, and we were communicating. I had his address, and we would write back and forth. This was like way before computers and stuff and all that going on, and cell phones and everything. But anyway, I'm definitely going to find those pictures and post them. But when I saw Jewel got married, all I could think of is, oh, you poor girl, you poor naive girl. She grew up in a car in Alaska, and I mean, she's extremely intelligent and stuff, and she's built a great career, but I just don't know how her heart, like God, I feel like I should have done something more to protect her. She wouldn't have listened to me. She would have thought I was a crazy fan. But I know after what he did to me of 5 minutes of like making me feel like shit, I can't imagine being married to the man for years and having him make you feel like shit, because he is a total narcissist, and in my opinion, cares nothing about anyone but himself and his persona, his, like, you know, the whole, you know, act he's got going here, his name and his label and his brand. And wouldn't it figure he's married now to a way much younger girl than him, who was a beauty queen, a rodeo beauty queen, and I guess they have a couple little ones, and she writes cookbooks. So how nice. If any of you know my how nice joke, that's it. If not, I'll explain it to you sometime. But anyway, and then there was Jewel's letter that broke my heart. She put Gwyneth Paltrow to shame with Gwyneth's, what was it? Conscious uncoupling. Okay, the Jewel went way above and beyond, and she signed it Jewel and Ty. Well, I know Ty had nothing to do with this because he's such a shallow person and he would not put anything like that, but she must have spent hours writing on this, saying that all the years and everything, and we've intertwined our lives together, and so it's going to be hard, and it's going to take a lot of time to untwine, you know, like uncouple our life, you know, like get rid of the, like, take the fabric out that was stitched together, and, you know, let it go, let each part be free. Although I'm sure he is definitely already moved on if he's married and has 2 kids, you know, and I think he was stepping out on Jewel with her before they were even divorced. But anyway, I know for Jewel, this was a gut punch. It was really hard, and I'm so glad she won Dancing with the Stars. And God, I wish I could give her some girl talk. I would love to give her some information. But Jewel, you are much better than that, and you don't think just what one guy's decision defines you or says, because he was really mean to me, and that was only over the course of a couple minutes, and I could walk away. I couldn't imagine being married to this man or having a child with this monster, and I'm so sorry. So I just wanted to tell you that. I know if I would have tried to tell you then, like, I probably couldn't have even gotten a hold of you, but I knew you would have thought I was just like some crazy stalker fan and I wanted him for myself or something, but that was not the case. I was just trying to save you. But I do pray for you, Jewel. I pray that you're happy, and you don't need a man to be happy. You can be happy without a man. You most definitely can. Your worth isn't decided by if you have a man or not. And Jewel, I think you're amazing. I think you're amazing, and you are the Queen of Hearts, and I love you, and I always will be a huge Jewel supporter. So all right, guys, so if you want to ask me any other questions, go ahead, but I do have proof to back up everything that I've said. I have to talk to Mary Beth and get that ticket, and so you can know Rona Oaks is one of the bars we went to afterwards, after the rodeo. I can't remember the other ones or the hotel we stayed at. But anyway, so we did go to the Houston rodeo, but I can most definitely get you guys proof. I do not believe I took any pictures. I may have gotten a picture with Tuff Hedeman. I know I most definitely didn't get a picture with Ty Murray because he just really turned my stomach off, and I didn't want anything to do with him. He was disgusting. But anyway, Jewel, I'm so glad you're out of that, and I hope you get on with your life, and you're such a great person, and you will find love. You deserve to be loved, and you will find it. So just be patient, okay? All right, guys, you know, it doesn't make me happy talking about stuff like this. Like, I almost wasn't gonna, but I wanted people out there to know that there's, you know, wolves in sheep's clothing, and even famous celebrities fall for them too. So, you just got to be careful with, who's out there and make sure you know them. All right, guys, I just wanted to, that is my dishing the tea with celebrities with Lori today. So thought I'd let you guys in on that one. I'm just hoping I can't get sued or anything because I'm dying and I don't have like even 2 cents to rub together. I am super, super broke right now, but I can back up everything that I said. Anyway, all right. I hope you guys have a great day. Stay blessed. And if you would keep me in my prayers. And as usual, I'm keeping all of you in my prayers. All right. Thanks, guys. And have a great Sunday. Bye.